Is the Buffalo Sabres season over already? Find out my thoughts coming up. The Buffalo Sabres currently sit 7-8-1 on the season, which is not quite where we had all hoped they would be after the first 16 games. The Sabres currently sit in 13th place in the Eastern Conference. The only good news about that is that the standings are still very, very tight and competitive this early in the season, meaning Buffalo is only 2 points out of the last wild card spot and just 4 points out of third place in the Atlantic Division. However, the Sabres are currently averaging just 2.875 goals per game this season, while giving up 3.25 goals per game this season in the first 16 games. Well, defensively, they are much improved so far this season, as last year the Sabres ended the year giving up 3.62 goals per game, which was a huge talking point all offseason that the Sabres needed to get better defensively in order to be able to continue the success that they saw last season. It appears that it has completely neutered their offense for this season, as last year the Sabres averaged 3.57 goals per game throughout the course of the entire season. Now, there is still a lot of season left this year, of course, but a 2.875 goals per game is a huge drop-off from what we saw last season. And what makes matters even worse is now, as of the last game the Sabres play, what about their lack of scoring even worse, is now that they have lost one of their best and most dangerous forwards in Tage Thompson, who reports have come out will likely be out for the foreseeable future. That is not good news if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, especially the fact that they are sitting at just 7-8-1 after 16 games, and they are only averaging 2.87 goals per game. You just lost a major contributor to your offense, even as your offense is struggling, to add on top of losing one of your best scorers. Thompson ranked third on the team with 12 points in 16 games. So even though he was not producing as he did last season, he was still a very big contributor to this Buffalo Sabres offense. Before we go any further, guys, I want to remind you guys to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. I talk Bills, Sabres, and the University at Buffalo men's basketballs and football team right here on this page. Also, remember to check out some cool merch. The links are in the description below. Now, on top of all of that, the lack of scoring, the place in the standings, the fact that one of your best scorers is now hurt, on top of all of that, the Sabres believed that they had found their number one goalie in Devin Levi, except he has looked every bit like a rookie through his first 7 games, as many people thought he might, and he has struggled mightily with a 3.65 goals against average and a very unimpressive .881 save percentage. The only saving grace after the fact that Comrie got hurt, which means both of your goalies, Devin Levi also got hurt, but both of your goalies that you thought would be your main 2 guys, one was struggling and one got hurt, was the fact that they had a third goalie in Ukko Pekka-Luukkonen, and he has looked very strong in his first 8 games this season. He currently sits at 3-3-1. with a 3-3-1 record with a 2.92 goals against average and a .909 save percentage. Something I think none of us saw coming into the season with how bad UPL has struggled, even in the preseason, was that he would emerge as potentially their best goalie option in the beginning part of this season. I am more confident with Luukkonen in goal at this point than I am with Devin Levi. Now, one thing is clear, and that the Sabres desperately need more scoring moving forward, which is going to be a tall task, especially with one of your best forwards in Tage Thompson out. So guys like Tuck and Cousins and Jost and Krebs, all of these guys will have to pick it up big time if the Sabres want to stay in contention. And before you jump on me, yes, I did not mention Casey Middlestat in that little bit of guys who need to step up, as I believe Casey Middlestat has actually been their best forward. I believe he's played better hockey than Tage Thompson, especially offensively this year. He has, on most nights, looked like their best forward. So as long as Casey Middlestat can continue to do what he's done through the first 6 games, and the other players can hopefully pick up the slack for the missing Tage Thompson, the Sabres might be okay. So is Buffalo's season already over just 16 games into the season? My answer, of course not. However, I believe that we are closer to a tipping point this early in the season than many would want you to believe. If Buffalo wants to stay in contention in an extremely competitive Eastern Conference, they will have to figure out how to string some wins together, as currently they only have one part of their schedule where they have won more than one game in a row, and the Sabres won back-to-back games in order to get themselves to 500. They will need to figure out, without their best scorer and without Devin Levi leading the way as they thought he would, and with a couple of players struggling, how to win games and string these wins together so that they can stay competitive in the East and not fall too far out of the playoff conversation. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Once again, I want to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are the Buffalo Sabres in trouble just 16 games into this season? Let me know what you think. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic week.